Welcome to another insightful episode of the Outlook on Click Naija online channel, where we bring you expert discussions on topics that matters to you. I am Nasir, Yunusa, your host, and we have a very important topic to discuss: withholding tax, its gains and losses to the economy in Nigeria. To help discuss this topic, we have with us Mr. Segun Osofisan, the MD of Peace Capital Market Limited, a stockbroker and a financial advisor. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Thank you very much. Nice having you here. Follow us on our social media handle for Instagram and X at Click Naija 1, and for Facebook and YouTube at Click Naija. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Now, withholding tax in Nigeria is an advance payment of income tax deducted at source from payments made to individual or business for certain transactions. It's not a separate tax from a form of tax prepayment which can be used to offset the final tax liability when filing annual tax return. Now, with this little definition of what withholding tax is, Mr. Segun, tell us why withholding tax is important and how it operates in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here to share my views or my little knowledge about the subject matter. So, why is it important? Well, if the withholding tax is just to ensure every other person comes into the tax brackets or the tax nets. If you notice, a lot of Nigerians, are operating informally. They don't have a structured way of operating in terms of business. Some just prefer to operate as Obi and Sons, and just give me my my sales into my personal accounts. You understand? Not my company account. And all these things doesn't really help the system because everything is affecting one other thing. But you see, the area where the government is concerned is that the government is mandated to provide basic goods and services like the roads, in terms of peace and security, and if this is not done, the systems collapse. So they need money, they need to generate money income. See how everything is tied now. You see, if you are living in an environment, you expect to contribute something. Even the good books say, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, you see. So we're looking at a very important subject matter where every person is able to contribute their own quota into the purse, and that is done by way of tax. In this instance, it's called withholding tax. So, like the name says, withhold. So when you use that concept, withhold means that it's a source. Any transaction that is done, either you go to the market, go to the grocery store, you're entering, buying fuel, getting some form of payment for goods and services. You're actually getting taxed from government. So that concept of withholding tax is a very important concept, so that all individuals are actually captured into the tax nets.
All individuals are actually captured. Nice. Now, what role does the Federal Inland Revenue Service play in enforcing the withholding tax compliance in Nigeria?
The Federal Inland Revenue Service is a body or organization established by government and is backed by law to enforce and form policies that will ensure that the mandate of federal government is, in terms of revenue following taxes, is met. So they cover a very wide range of tax policies, and they ensure that these monies are collected as at when due. They ensure that there's any form of litigation, they follow up with such cases in courts. But if there's any form of evasion, they go after them. So you see, in some cases, you hear stories of the United States going after tax evaders, even if it's 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. Once the taxman can establish the fact that, in this social year, you made this income but you did not pay, it's the job of the FIRS to actually go after these people and get the monies back, because that money has been spent on behalf of the citizens of Nigeria.
So are there any exemptions or special cases where withholding tax does not apply?
Yes, withholding tax is limited to goods and services within the country.
Okay, just
so yes, if you're doing anything outside, it's a different tax for a jurisdiction. You understand? So it's still withholding tax, but it's outside the scope of the FIRS. So it's limited to that, and also there are other forms of tax, where withholding tax do not apply, or else you'll be doing double injustice to you. If you're a worker, if you're a business owner, you're paying already, your company is paying, and you don't tax yourself twice. You see, so there are some elements of that withholding tax is actually limited.
Now, what are some of the challenges businesses and individuals face when it comes to withholding tax compliances?
It's a burden to collect taxes. I'm sure it's a burden to collect taxes, because you can see that people don't even give their addresses. You ask someone, where do you stay? It becomes a challenge. You can't trace the person's house and even the offices. So it's a burden. Having said that, that's the major challenge. How do the government collect that tax? So the government has now made it mandatory that, okay, yes, you provide goods and services, but anytime you're selling, take within 21 days after that sale, remit this, because we will monitor it as government. Even monitoring is even difficult. It's a challenge, but thank God for technology. I think there's a new tax law that is about to be passed in the National Assembly that integrates heavy technology into their operations, and you'll be seeing more of a more accurate tax regime.
More accurate tax regime. Now, what are the penalties for non-compliances with the withholding tax regulations in Nigeria?
There are several penalties, and I can mention a few. So the penalties for companies that are convicted of withholding tax evasion, they will pay a fine of 10% on the total amount. And those that don't have TIN number, they will pay twice what they ought to pay before. For individuals and convicted for such fine, they pay 10% of that amount. So these are things that are penalty, but people don't know about it. People don't follow up with these kinds of things, and it's going to affect them in the long run.
So people that part of the challenges and penalties is that when you don't pay your tax, you pay when you are paying, you pay 5% of what you're supposed to pay, or increase of 5% of what you're supposed to pay.
An increase after you pay the normal thing, you now pay extra. That's what we call the fine.
What types of transactions attract withholding tax in Nigeria?
Transactions that cover the dividend, transactions around director's fee, transactions around loan interest on loans, transactions around sales. So transactions around capital appreciation, that is, you sell something and there's an increase in the what you sell, like those kinds of things that cover the withholding tax cover. As an individual, you need to understand what it means, so that you don't fall short of the law. And these taxes are reduced by your ultimate pay as you earn income, personal income tax. You understand? Because when you pay for something, and then you want to finally remit your income tax as the law states, you remove what you earlier paid for, so that your personal income tax reduces. You don't pay twice.
Now there's types of transaction now, and these types of transaction are within Nigeria, like you said.
Yes.
It doesn't go out of Nigeria. Yes. So what are the current rates for different categories of transaction of withholding tax? Do they have a current rate?
Yes, they do. Usually between 5 and 10%. Yes.
It's not stable.
No, depends on the specific, because these are tax codes.
Okay.
So, for instance, commission is a commission. You sell a house, you sell a broker, sells a house. You know, that commission, that money that the broker, the agents, you know, gets. It shouldn't be more. It's 5%. Okay. You understand? It's 5%. For dividend, it's 5%. Dividend is when you get your share of profit as a shareholder. Okay. You know, it's 5%. For areas of consultancy, a consultant, you provided a service to an establishment. The money that they pay you, the withholding tax on that money is 5%. You know, so there are several items, but I'm just giving you the off the top of my head, the major ones that you'll be aware of. You know.
Can you explain its importance on small, medium businesses?
Yes. For small, medium businesses, they don't earn a lot. You see, the government has, I think, the recent tax bill is trying to, you know, be very empathetic towards small businesses. Those businesses don't make a lot. Their margins are very small. They don't make enough sales to cover them for the entire month. They don't have enough profits to even help the business stabilize. So all these things combined with inflation, you see prices of goods and services going up, household items, they are going up, you know, things that you need to survive are all going up. Now, it's important to know they know that there will be exemption for this category of going forward once that bill is passed. But right now they are still liable, and that's why you see a lot of businesses prefer to do business in their own personal name. They don't open limited whatever. They do it in their own name.
So those businesses in their personal name, they don't pay withholding tax.
They usually pay minimal. Not as if when when the government wants to trace you, they know this person is incorporated as a limited company, and they know they have an office address, and they go after them. They ask them, where's the withholding tax for this transaction? You sold this profit on this item. There's a tax component in it. But if you're limited and sons, your personal name, if you sell and how will the government trace you? You're in the one corner shop there, how will the government cannot trace you. Because they don't have record of your own. If you do it, they don't even have record.
But most of these individuals in their name businesses, if they have a corporate account, for instance.
If they have a corporate account, that's now formal. That's what I started with when I was making my introduction. I said millions of Nigerians are doing informal
transactions.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Now, what advice will you give to businesses to ensure compliances? Because now we just talked of people that open in their own name and the government cannot trace those people. So now
there are benefits that we do not talk about. Apart from the fact that the nation, the country, will be able to provide their basic job, which is security, peace, and all that. For the ordinary man on the streets, you know, that is thinking of what does he stand to gain? Yes, once the like I always mention, once the bill is passed, there will be things like credits. Yes, in that bill, there's the area of credits. There's the area of deduction. Once you're established as a small business owner, there will be a deduction. It automatically be a deduction. You understand? So all these things are because they are realities of life. It's a woman that's trying to survive just by her corner shop, and you're telling her to start paying tax. She was not paying before. So, but the government wants to ensure that these people come first. You know, we'll just recognize you, but you're not paying tax. But at least if you need credits, which is a very natural thing to do, you'll be able to you get credit from sources from government at low interest. You understand? So there's a reduced rate for businesses with low margin. So those businesses that are really struggling, those ones that are already formal, but they are struggling because how much is their profits? Maybe just 2% per item, maybe 4%. You know, so there's a reduced amount. There's also exemption. I've talked about the exemption, and there's ease of obtaining credits.
Okay.
Then the other things around, small deduction here and there that will take care of any issues.
Nice. How does it affect pay as you earn workers like salary earners now? Does the withholding tax affect them?
Yeah, it will affect them because at the end of the day, your pockets, whatever you buy and you're paying withholding tax on, it automatically reduces the entire amount that you give. So it will definitely affect you. But on the long run, the government has taken recognized these kinds of things and says, well, that's the way we have to go for this country to survive. So that's I'm afraid that's about it.
Okay. So can I say finally, how does withholding tax contribute to Nigerian economy now? This way we get the benefits and all that.
Government is serious about trying to get this economy back on the growth path.
Okay. And
how do they do that? They borrow monies from international organizations. These monies that are borrowed are needed to build bridges, build the express, the dam that broke. That dam that broke, and we have several dams like that are old dams and they are not strong. This thing takes a lot of money. So the essence of this tax is just to bring in money for this government to utilize so that the economy can come back. So it helps. Once the economy is doing well, everybody
will be happy. But on the other side of it, when you collect this tax and Nigerians feel like it's all going for corruption, how would you explain this?
That's another thing actually, we can't deny that. We can't deny that because government is acting as a fiduciary, role. As like a big parent, who collects money when the auntie comes to visit the child, and they give take 5 naira, the parent to collect it and not give the child what he's supposed to get.
Exactly.
So there's this worry about that, but at the same time, you just have to, because every 4 years you need to give the account. The government needs to give an account of what he has done with that tax. So that's where the citizens actually must say the truth. You citizens must you must always say the truth. Do you really benefit for that 4 years? And what came in as a way of revenue? So you ask questions and you say the truth. And if that truth you go out and vote yes or no. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, especially Osofisan, for enlightening us on this discussion. We have learned a lot on withholding tax in Nigeria.
Thank you.
To our listener, I hope this conversation has been insightful for you, and it has been so for me. And don't forget to tune in next week for another episode of the Outlook on Click Naija. My name is Nasir, and thanks to my producer Rotimi Martins and my supervising producer Ehi Ohiane, and also Jacinta Osagi. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.